Hello and welcome to the world's greatest construction equipment show. This is Bauma 2022 here in the beautiful Munich in Germany. And I am absolutely delighted to be joined here by my very good friend and key account manager for AlmaCrawler in the UK and Ireland, Oana. Oana, here we are on the Almac stand in late October with beautiful weather here in Bavaria in Germany, and we're at the world's greatest trade show with some of the world's greatest products, probably the greatest access equipment here on the AlmaCrawler stand. So let's show everybody here what's on the stand here at Bauma, starting with the multi-loader.
Definitely. So as you know, we have two lines of products. We have AWP and material handling. The multi-loader is part of our material handling line. This is a 6-ton capacity track transporter with our patented leveling technology so that it can get your load safely to where you're going, up to 20 degrees inclination longitudinal, 15 degrees lateral. It also comes with a crane. The crane is removable, so you can adapt the machine to whatever the job site looks like. The engine is a Yanmar engine, 2-cylinder, and it has a battery pack inside. The engine is removable as well, because if you need a flatbed, then you can do that as well with the machine. We try to offer, especially for the material handling line, solutions that are as versatile and flexible as possible, because we know that no job site is like the next one. And so being able to adapt the machine to whatever you're doing is actually very important.
Yesterday, I had a great chat with the Greg and Mike, your American dealers. So it's great to see that this product now is really getting very popular in the American market.
Well, they're experts. I mean, they work with anybody from glass to military, so they have actually looked at these products and seen the wide range of applications, and they've been very successful with it. They just introduced it this year, and it's already becoming one of their core products to present. We feel strongly that the American market will be able to give us feedback that we will use to develop new products in the future, and that's something we're currently working on extensively. We like the material handling line. We feel like we have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of things that we could potentially put into this line of product. So you should pay attention to 2023 and 2024, because new things will be coming up.
I'm sure they will. And that's because AlmaCrawler are always innovating and thinking of new things to bring onto the market. Now, the stand's going to be getting very busy shortly, so we'll have a quick walk through here so we can show everybody what's on this great stand. So, of course, we have our JIBBI 1670.
Bestseller. This is probably the JIBBI 16 and our scissor lift, our BIBBI 1090. These are our two bestseller products for rental companies. They were designed with a rental company in mind. I'm sure you remember that we work primarily with rental companies. We're talking about more than 85% of the product that we come up with and produce goes into rental fleets, from the smallest to the biggest. That is just part of who we are as a brand and as a manufacturer. And this product particularly was designed exclusively for the rental market.
Great. Now, of course, AlmaCrawler are always innovating new ideas. This is new on the market. It is a T-crane.
Well, remember when I told you that we're definitely looking into expanding our material handling line? This is an example of it. So we've got a JIBBI base. That means that this is a retractable undercarriage with our self-leveling technology, self-propelled on an inclination. And now we have a boom, which is a crane. It's a 1-ton capacity crane, 7.7 meters high, 6 meters in outreach. It's a pick and carry that has no outriggers, can move on a slope. We're trying to fill the gaps. Our products are complementary as material handling machinery. They're complementary to fleets. We feel that being able to give, again, flexibility, giving both rental companies, but also end users, products that can adapt to as many possible applications is the way to go.
And the crane, what will that lift?
1 ton max.
1 ton. And at what radius?
So it does depend, obviously. 1 ton you'll get at about 3.5 meters, going up to 6 meters where you're picking up around 500K.
Okay. But of course, it's the versatility. It's able to get into very tight spots, which means it's worth its weight in gold if you need it.
I'm also going to add the fact that it has a very easy user experience. We aimed at giving it the feeling like you could literally give it to an end user who's just starting out and using cranes for picking up material and moving it, and he would not need to be accustomed to working with any sort of machinery that is in this particular category.
Okay, so on our left-hand side, of course, is something you brought out very recently. That's the BILLENNIUM.
Yes. So as I've said several times, this is a product that we came up with to complete our offering. So we offer scissor lifts, we offer self-propelled boom lifts, a spider or a spider type machine was definitely something that we were thinking about. Clients have asked about, and so what we did is we did a lot of reverse design on here. We try to solve the problems that you normally get with this type of machinery, small little things. Interesting details such as, for example, an automatic stabilization that takes advantage of angle sensors to determine safety measures. So if the legs are not positioned on the ground safely, it will not allow the operator up. All of the automatic stabilization is automatic in the sense that you can decide the width of your machine literally by turning a knob. Those small little details are aimed at improving efficiency, productivity, and safety. Safety is a major thing for us. When you're working in complicated situations, it's easy to get yourself in a tight spot, and we're trying to come up with machinery that will never put operators in danger and will never allow them to do something that could potentially put them in danger.
What I really like is when I was first shown this machine back in the factory in Viadana, we have one of them now in Ireland, and it's a kind of bit like the movie Terminator, because she starts to set herself up and it's moving itself until it finds the correct level. So it really is the rise of the machines.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, we were trying to give, even that was studied to give the smoothest possible experience. I'll tell you something. For this category of machines, they're built to be stabilized from ground controls. You actually cannot stabilize this machine from ground controls. That was done on purpose because our idea is you drive it off of the truck because of the retractable undercarriage that goes from 78 centimeters to 139, giving you incredible stability. We have 2 meters in length on the tracks. They're quite wide. They're about 35 centimeters wide. That gives you stability. So you're already in the basket to begin with, coming off the truck. You're probably trekking to where you're going to be working. The stabilization is automatic, so you're doing it from the basket. So the idea was that the actual sensation you have to have whilst in the basket needs to be smooth. So everything is studied for the machine to have the operator in the basket from the get-go when it gets to the job site.
Brilliant, brilliant. Always thinking outside the box in AlmaCrawler. So over here we have the B1570.
It's the smaller version of the 18-meter Spider. We've now placed it here to show what the BILLENNIUM can also do, apart from obviously a standard stabilized machinery. That is, our spider lifts can be driven at height, even on an inclination. So that's a feature that we wanted to get from the JIBBI line, incorporated in the BILLENNIUM. So let's imagine you have a BILLENNIUM. You would probably appreciate not necessarily needing a second piece of equipment on your job site to be able to handle any sort of job that would involve you being very close to a building and moving at the same time, like a scissor lift. So here you could technically do 2 things with 1 piece of equipment, and we felt that that was something interesting to offer to rental companies, but end users as well.
Okay, now let's take a quick walk here. And this, we were talking about Terminator, I was thinking this is like something out of RoboCop.
Yeah.
This is the PRiMO.
The PRiMO.
A great name for a great new product. Let's talk about this. Is the latest thing out of that the boffins in AlmaCrawler have put together. Let's talk about the PRiMO.
So why is it called the PRiMO? Well, because it's the first. We actually wanted to use the Italian word for the first because we've introduced a lot of firsts on this machine. So it's a JIBBI. As you well know, a JIBBI does self-leveling, up to 15 degrees longitudinal, 50 degrees lateral, automatic. So from that point of view, it does the same thing. I think you can see it. The added bonus is this is our first full electric launch, electric drive. This machine drives at 4.5 kilometers per hour, so it is very fast. We've actually, here we have a fixed undercarriage. This is 2.2 meters, so it's still very compact. the fixed undercarriage has allowed us to give it more ground clearance, which is something that some job sites request. We have 37 centimeters of ground clearance, which is very useful in some contexts. Now, as I said, electric drive. Not only that, but we were able to already implement on this new product our automatic tensioning system. That means that when you turn the machine on, it automatically tensions the tracks. No more grease, no more maintenance. It is a zero maintenance machine from that point of view. It's a massive improvement, especially for a machine that's supposed to go in the heavy duty kind of job sites. Like I said, full electric. We're launching it only in this version today. 18 meters working height, 14 meters travel height. I'm going to flip you. If you follow me, I'm going to show you the other thing that's a definite first. When we say full electric, usually what happens is we get a question. What is the autonomy? We try to think about autonomy in out of the box kind of way. So we came up with a power unit. The power unit is fully extractable. You can use a forklift or a telehandler, and it's fully substitutable. You can actually take this one out, put a fresh one in. You technically have infinite autonomy. We've got two options on charging. We've got the classic 110 or 220, but we also have the EV charger for electric cars. That's a fast charger. That means that, for example, if you're going out to lunch and you get the power unit, put it in the back of your pickup, and you attach it to a fast charger, within an hour you should get about 15% of the battery power back.
So while you're going from job to job,
Yeah.
you can call in for a coffee somewhere, plug it in the
Yes.
petrol station, enjoy the coffee, and then get back to work.
Yes, absolutely. We thought that would again give flexibility to job sites. That's a key word for us. Being able to be versatile and flexible and adapt to your job site is really important in the design of every machine we make.
Okay. Now, of course, on this stand here, it really demonstrates the capabilities of this machine, particularly when you look at the angle it's at here, and the top deck is beautifully level, which means huge factor of safety.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole point, and I'm going to show you what we added to increase that safety even more. Our whole idea was to solve the problem of self-propelled at height on an inclination. But not only that, we thought if we're moving at 14 meters in the air, you need to have eyes on the ground. So as an option, we've actually incorporated our ultrasonic anti-collision system in the undercarriage of the machine. What does that mean? Normally, our ultrasonic anti-collision systems are two sensors under the basket, one sensor on the top that protects. It's an anti-entrapment system. It's a bit more evolved because it stops you before you become entrapped, so that you become aware of your surroundings. Very similarly, what happens here is we have four sensors, two in the back, two in the front, under the undercarriage, that protects against potholes. So if you're driving at 14 meters and you risk going over a curb or you risk going over a hole, it will stop the machine. It will signal in the basket. We're going to have a look at the basket in a second. It will signal in the basket that there's something that I need to visually check. And obviously you might choose to come down. You might choose to continue because it's not actually an obstacle, but you're more aware of your surroundings. Not only that, but we decided to put four sensors on the back of the machine itself, so that you don't risk, it's an anti-collision, you don't risk colliding into stuff when you're driving.
That's amazing, because obviously when you're high up and you're working, and of course it's great to see there's no legs here required, so you can just move.
Self-propelled.
So it's great for like tree surgeons or also utilities, guys doing street lamps.
Absolutely, but also construction.
Yeah.
Just think about construction, think about any sort of heavy duty work involved in steelworks, involved in anything that has to do with either rugged terrain or terrain that involves multiple surfaces and multiple inclination. This is an option, but it is an option we feel fairly certain is something that the industry was looking for, and it will massively, let's just say, it will give a better feeling of safety while at height.
It's going to massively improve it, because
it's going to give you eyes on the ground.
It's the eyes and ears, so so it's an aid to the operator. Because there's nothing as bad, I know from experience, if you're on a boom lift and you're traveling along and you don't spot something, you get that sudden jerk or movement, it really is quite unnerving. So this will now tell you what's ahead.
Yes.
It's brilliant, Oana. Tell me, Oana, I do like the new layout here of the controls.
So we redesigned our controller, because if we're looking at putting this into a heavy-duty job site situation, you're probably wearing gloves. So a bit of more ease of use in how the joysticks are constructed is going to definitely be useful. Not only that, but we felt that there needed to be a sort of translation from stepping off of a standard self-propelled on-wheels boom to a JIBBI 1890 PRiMO. So we tried to make it as smooth as the transition as it could possibly be. In fact, for example, on this machine, the outreach works on two diagrams: 140 kilos, 10 meters. 250 kilos, 8.3 meters, and he's selected by the click of a button.
So if you were to, when you sat down to design this machine, what was the end user? Who was the end user going to be, ideally?
Well, as always, we're always thinking about rental companies. This was something that was a question a lot of rental companies had asked of us. They had asked for a potentially, let's just say, faster JIBBI, so you have electric drive, taller JIBBI, so you now have a fixed undercarriage. Definitely a taller in working height, 2 meters more, you have 18. Definitely more capacity, this is 250 kg. Definitely with controllers that would be adapt, especially in some Nordics countries, but also I would imagine Ireland, that people are working in cold environments, they're wearing gloves. So joysticks, especially for working outside, not in maintenance work, but rather in construction, you need to have joysticks that are separate and are a little bit wider apart. So these were all considerations that we made. As an application, I think it does impact the applications you're currently working on with standard, let's just say, wheeled boom lifts, as well as, for example, tracked machinery with no leveling capabilities. So we feel that it's going to definitely better the experience of those job sites, simply because you don't have to level the job site before you start work.
So once again, AlmaCrawler, always listening to the customer, what they need, and then going back, designing
to the
it
drawing
out,
board,
and then building it, testing it, constantly evolving it, and then bringing a brand new machine, the PRiMO, to market. Which is, it's exciting times for AlmaCrawler. I know you guys have got great more ideas for next year. Can't wait till Bauma, the next Bauma, or the next, to see what else is coming out of the drawing office and the factory.
We're constantly looking to either bring new models to a range or come up with something completely new. So you should definitely pay attention. We're always looking for the next evolution of our product line. Brilliant.
Oana, thanks very much for giving us a walk through this great stand here at Bauma. All again, a fantastic array of machines, and the future is very, very exciting. And thank you for watching. And as I say here in Germany, auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you.